tonight because these rounds are prolonged, extended. I want to shout out our most recent follower, Pony Slay Station.
He's not our most recent follower at all. That video is like 2 months old.
Oh, is that from? Is that no? I thought that was. They kept that part updated while they played.
No, they don't.
New.
Don't do that.
Somebody confirm or deny that. Somebody out there that works. I'm almost convinced I'm right here.
Well, yeah, you can be right. I'll let you be right. Go ahead.
All right.
Shout him out.
All right. So thanks for Pony Slay Station. I thought that was very clever.
Very clever, yeah. Very clever indeed.
I'm a big fan of cleverness.
It surprises me.
Oh man.
All right.
In the inning, they strand the runner. Zach will talk to you tomorrow night. I look forward to
This matchup's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
I like.
So Jason's spot removal is gonna have to do a lot of good work here.
I think the spreading seas out of the Merfolk deck could do a whole bunch of damage here.
Oh yeah.
Getting this Grixis deck tangled up on mana can be just bad news.
Bad news bears.
Absolutely. It's a little 700 WLW, the home of the Reds, coming through over our speaker system back here. I don't know if that's coming through on the feed.
I don't think it does.
You don't think it does?
I also don't think my microphone is going through the feed.
No, I can hear you now. Can you hear yourself?
It's a little in and out. Yeah, I can hear myself now.
All right.
All right, so Jason's keeping a one-lander. He doesn't know what he's up against, so this could punish him.
Here's a Street Wraith down.
Street Wraith is solid. Gives him another shot at a second land here eventually.
Oh, man, but he gets an Inquisition, which is...
Yeah, Inquisition is solid. Being able to hit the Inquisition here and see what he's up against is a big deal.
It's not a small deal.
Not a small deal.
Oh, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. All the way down to 15. You could go to 13 if you wanted to Thoughtseize. But
Oh, man.
here's a Serum Visions. So this is probably a response to the fact that he was on a one-lander. So he's looking at 2 lands on top, drew a land off the Visions, and we're going to put them both to the bottom. So he's feeling very secure on 2 lands. Willing to wait to draw into that third one naturally, not willing to spend this scry on it.
So all of his lands are fetches, so he could potentially get one more off the top, and he did. But that second one would have been waste anyway.
Concur. I would definitely lead with an Inquisition here.
How about a Thoughtseize? We want to get low. I understand that.
Thoughtseize going to put him to 13. And then an additional fetch lane can put him to 10, resulting in a 3-power...
3 is the magic number in this case.
A 3-power Death Shadow. Alright, so we're going to move some cards around.
So
And he's going to give it a good think.
the first thought might be to take the Dismember.
It's a Fatal Push.
Dismember?
Is it in fact a Dismember?
Is in fact a Dismember because it's removal, and you're going to be reliant on few creatures here. But because the nature of Dismember is -3 or -5/-5, it's something you can play around with fetches, shocks, street wraiths, and to that end, I think taking the Lord here is a good call. Going down to 12, finds a basic swamp. Looks like he's going to run out the Inquisition now that he knows what's up in the hand.
Concur.
Be interesting what he takes. He has the push as well. Silvergill Adept is the call. So land number 2.
Boro Palace in the Clouds. It's the Harbinger of the Tides. So I wonder if Jason here's just left him with the Dismember because he's more than happy to wait around until the Death Shadow outsizes that card.
I mean, if he wanted to, he could make it outsize the card very quickly. Because he has another fetch in hand.
Right, puts it at 9, makes it a 4/4.
I think he may be trying to set up a situation where Ryan fires off the Dismember and he can grow his Death Shadow through it for the card advantage. In which case he's looking for a Street Wraith. Another fetch land will do it.
Alright, so we're on our 3rd discard spell of the day here.
Alright, well, don't even have to play around the Dismember anymore. His draw was an Obero, which he knew. So I'm a little bit surprised he ran it out there, but he just might not have any other action.
Does he have a Death Shadow?
No, I believe his hand is currently
I saw
Thoughtseize and Fatal Push.
Alright.
And he knows about this Mutavault in hand. I think this Fatal Push is waiting for that. He's got a Kolaghan's Command as the last card.
Now that one can be backbreaking.
Yeah, a little awkward that Ryan's on a land-heavy hand. It makes Jason's draw a little bit worse.
Yeah, if Ryan was on 2 lands and Jason could, kind of extract those individual cards out of Ryan's hand that were most critical, leaving some weaker cards behind that are pretty much dead. Going
to 9 here.
I agree that a land heavy hand kind of in a weird way benefits Ryan here.
Push it. And here is Aether Vial.
Aether Vial, which
pretty solid one.
Seems reasonable.
Snapcaster the draw from Jason. That's going to make this Kolaghan's Command very good in the late game.
Concur.
Although he might just, if he fires up the Mutavault here, blowing up the Aether Vial and the Mutavault is a pretty big deal.
You could... I don't think the Aether Vial matters that much at this point in the game.
It doesn't, but he's got a lot of lands in hand, so I'm not too interested in making him discard.
Oh, I was interested in a snap push there.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, end of turn you have to snap push, right?
So Snap Push gives you a little bit of a clock, and it lets you keep that Kolaghan's Command up for getting the Snapcaster back after you trade it off, which is a huge deal. So I like that line, but I think Jason is just content to sit back and wait till he draws into one of his big creatures, and then just ride that to victory.
Yep.
He's at a comfortable 7.
Is that a comfortable life total?
Yeah, for these Death Shadow decks.
Alright. Well, I think this one's going to earn a snap push.
Certainly could.
Yep, push it real good.
Yeah, so I don't know if I would have had the patience to do that. I might have ran out. Oh, no, he can't. Sorry. I was going to say he might have run out the main phase snap Serum Visions, but he doesn't have a second blue source.
Right.
Which is a bit awkward.
Alright, Gurmag Angler.
Here's a fatty.
This is the fatty he's been looking for. He's working on keeping these Kolaghan's commands in the bin. Kolaghan's command, singular.
In the bin.
In
so with
the discard pile.
7 power here, he's not going to have a 2-turn clock just yet, although there's a number of draws that could turn it into that. He also has the Stubborn Nile backup, which is a big deal.
Right.
Man, rips the Tassiger. We're just going to get all kinds of value here. So that is definitely one that speeds up this clock.
So, I don't even know that you need to play it, do you?
No reason not to.
No reason not to? What are you talking about, no reason not to?
I'm talking about there's no reason to not play the Tassiger. Because it speeds you up by a turn.
Alright. Well. Yeah, this puts you a removal spell away from winning the game, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
In this position. This Merfolk draw has just been weak.
Yeah, lots of lands and Aether Vials, and all of his creatures got picked apart really early by discard and Fatal Push.
Yep. This is exactly what the Grixis Shadow deck wants to do, and not exactly what the Merfolk deck wants to do.
No removal spell, sadly. So it looks like Ryan's going to go down to 5. Oh no, he's going to go down to 2. Wow. Scoops him up. Seen enough.
So, as we move into sideboarding, I imagine the Merfolk deck wants to bring in a Vapor Snag. I feel like Vapor Snag would be an excellent card against a deck like this.
Oh yeah, certainly. I see Vapor Snags being passed over currently in favor of Negates, and I believe they were Relic of Progenitus.
I would bring in as many Vapor Snags and Relic of Progenitus as I could.
Yes, infinite Vapor Snags. I'm down with it.
I don't know what he has to take out. It looks like Jason's brought Liliana to the front of his pile. I would also be interested in Collective Brutality.
I think that's Collective Brutality in the front of his pile. That was Liliana that just got tossed in.
Alright.
Come on, take it out. You know you want to. Yeah. Stubborn Nile's out. Doesn't do anything here. Come on. I know he's a big fan of that card.
I can't play that card.
Oh, yeah?
I registered that card in multiple decks, both in standard and modern environments. And I never like cast it, and I'm like, yeah, that card did a whole lot. I was happy to have it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like the conditional counter spells. I know he's high on it here because there's so many creatures that turn it on. But yeah, I just don't see the value.
Yeah, I don't
Normally I have a nose for value. I sniff it out.
You sniff it out?
Yeah. I smell value.
You kind of have a smallish nose anyway.
What's that supposed to mean?
Is it attuned for value? I would say I wouldn't trust you if you were like, hey, go smell that corner and tell me what what that corner smells like.
It smells like value.
I wouldn't trust you to be like, oh yeah, this guy's got
value.
A fantastic refined olfactory sense. Although you don't smoke or drink.
Yeah.
So you've
also value.
It's years under this miserable existence. If smoking wasn't such a painful death, I'd probably do it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what's holding you back is the painful death.
Is people with like throat, lung, mouth cancer.
No, I mean, I agree.
I welcome death. I do not welcome the pain of death.
Okay. I think there's other reasons to not, like, just randomly pick up smoking than, like, the pain of death.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's my primary reason.
Okay.
I don't think it's the universal best reason to not do it.
So I don't have any problem with people that smoke. I mean, they're whatever. I don't like when people smoke around me. It's annoying. But I don't understand anybody, like, picking up smoking as an adult. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, yeah. Once you're 30, like, you're done.
I mean,
like,
once
you're out of college.
Yeah, once you're, like, 22 or 23.
I could see picking it up while you're in, even if, like, you went to, like, a graduate program, like, you became a doctor, lawyer,
Okay.
whatever, like, picking up smoking when you become a doctor. I mean, it's a very stressful job.
Why would you pick up smoking when you became a doctor, of all things?
People in the medical profession smoke at a disproportionate rate.
Nurses do.
To the rest of
Doctors
the world. Doctors don't? It's
no,
only
it's
nurses?
Nurses are the big ones.
Big nurses smoke?
And small nurses. Nurses of all sizes.
Oh, I thought you said the big ones smoke.
I said nurses are the big ones.
Oh.
We're not getting any lightning strike at Cracker.
Are we trying to get lightning strike at standard?
Yeah, he wants lightning strike. That's not happening. Come on, just give it up. They don't print good cards unless they make a huge mistake and print way too good of cards.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, we're gonna print all these normal cards and then Mutavault.
Yeah. We're gonna print like these efficient limited creatures and vehicles.
Yeah, we got all these white cards and Declaration Stone, Avacyn, and Gideon.
Yeah, AK Cracker, you need to be respectful. The real deal has moved on to a better place.
The real deal literally isn't here.
No, he's moved on to a better place.
He
tragically died.
Oh no! Don't say that. That's.
I said it in the chat. It's official.
Oh, did he die?
It's official.
Official death notice. Isn't that a video game, Death Notice, or is it a movie?
It sounds like a bad action movie.
Yeah. Alright. Here comes Swamp.
Look, man. You don't know him. He lives on in spirit.
Alright. Jason rolls two lands into his graveyard.
Man.
And resolves a Tasigur.
I wish Gideon died.
This is one of those things where, like, if Ryan...
AV Posse, you're fake news.
Sad. Fake news? Sad.
Sad. Turn 2 Tasigur is huge. But that Steam Vents is making all of Ryan's creatures unblockable at the moment.
Concur. I think Jason's going to just start firing off removal here.
Oh, you need to. Does he have it to fire off?
I think I see Polluted Delta with...
Polluted Delta is not a removal spell.
Listen. It gets the Terminate that I was about to mention past the...
Listen.
Hey, listen. Oh, Navi. It gets the Terminate past the Curse Catcher. John Douglas has just been handed a list of something I'm about to become.
No, you're never going to see this list.
Give me it. Why can't I see it?
No, you can't see the list.
Don't have a tantrum on. Don't be a dick.
All right, so we've got
don't be an elitist.
Don't be an elitist. Tasigur is holding down the fort here.
elitist, educated. Oh, well, you're just speaking about the Marx. Marx said the same thing. Like,
Would you
I didn't
shut up
know
and
that.
pay attention to this? Come on.
Well, you didn't seem to care about
Come on.
about my terminate. No,
It's not turns. I
It's
did
not
care about
my
your terminate, but
No,
you wouldn't
no, you
spit it
said-
out. You wouldn't spit it out.
I'll spit on you.
Do it. I would love to see Grook again. Grook was
Yeah.
my dude.
Yeah, Grix. Is he still evil?
Yes, he is.
No,
Yes, he is.
he's not. What? What do you got?
When did
Come
Groot
at me,
become
bro.
Not evil?
Come at me, bro.
When did Groot become not evil?
JD is way up on the storyline.
The
Kyle, just so
Magic
you know.
2015
All right, so here's the terminate targeting the.
duels game. At the end, you seal away the curse of the Chain Veil and a Hedron that you steal from Ob Nixilis.
All right, so we're building a nice stack here. So
They're not going to
Ryan-
ban Gideon.
Ryan
Come
had
on.
Dispel,
And that'll
Jason,
be game.
Jason would have had to gotten a Shockland there in order to cast his. Okay, so Jason's line was to cast the Stubborn Denial, but he would have had to have gotten a Shockland there to be able to cast it, which would bring his life total too low after the Curse Catcher got sacked, after the Stubborn Denial resolved.
Mm-hmm.
And that way,
He would die.
he would die. He would have died to the remaining attacking creatures.
Similar to the real deal.
So, I don't know that the real deal is actually dead.
The human being that represented the real deal is probably still alive, but the real deal, as an ideal, is dead.
That's not
The
even-
real ideal.
Yeah, the real deal ideal is dead.
Is this like a wrestling thing where I don't like they kill off characters,
No.
but the person that played the character gets to play a new character like Mick Foley?
No. No, that's not
What's
a
the
thing.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, what are you even talking about, man?
Well, you're saying that the real deal is dead, but the person who was the real deal is still alive?
I was saying the ideal of the real deal is dead.
in our hearts.
He's not in the store. He doesn't come here anymore. It's time to give it up.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
The kid.
Can we get somebody to take over as the real deal?
No.
All right.
That would be the ultimate disrespect to the real deal.
It
I don't
would-
even
okay.
think AK Cracker wants that. And he's the one who's always clamoring about the real deal. Now, if AK Cracker wants to come in here and start claiming to be the new deal,
Oh gosh.
he would have to be in a
And-
wheelchair. But I'd be fine with it.
He would have to cosplay as FDR, but yeah, you can bring any level of socialism at me, and I'm just willing to take it. Let's do this.
Just give me the full alphabet soup.
Of
Let's
so-
go.
Of socialism.
I think he was making reference to the New Deal in the TVA and other.
What? The New Deal was like the most socialist thing.
The New Deal sought to establish a lot of governmental agencies that oversaw work programs, and they often had acronyms. So we
I'm
had
looking to see Jason lose. What else is playing in round 4? Is game done? Well, this is round 3.
Yeah, so I'm back here being re-educated because, my friend Kyle's been to school way longer than anybody should have, studying things that
Don't pay the bills.
really,
No one has any
really,
interest in.
he's basically publishing work that's going to change the American landscape.
Yeah, if you want to come in as the square deal, I'm fine with that.
The square deal. I would come in like with my hair all trumped up, like come in as the best deal.
Have you heard of the deal?
The guy, oh man, the art,
The art of the deal is a good one.
Coming cosplaying as Bob Ross, be the art of the deal
So Jason's on a one-lander.
with a thought scour.
He's got Thought Scour, Serum Visions, Mistress Bauble. The land is a fetch land. He can fix it however he wants it.
So do you bobble yourself and then decide whether or not you want to cast Serum Visions or Thought Scour?
It seems like a reasonable play.
Is that like a line here?
But you also have a fetch, so you're going to need to fetch first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to bobble yourself and then fetch regardless. You want to bobble yourself and then give yourself a decision point based off the bobble information.
Absolutely. Bear Senior, we have no idea what's going on next. So all of the 3-0s are going to split. So we're going to have a couple of 2-1s for the next round. And in that regard, we have no idea what it could be.
Yeah, hopefully somebody interesting loses so that we can have like an interesting match.
I mean, there's 40 people here. Someone interesting is bound to have lost one round.
Alright, thinking about the scry here.
Scry to the bottom.
Alright. Bobble. Alright, so we're going to fetch first. Alright, so we've got that far into our turn. It looks like he's got a Dispel in hand, too. Now that
So Watergrave is the land. That's a good choice.
that only targets instant cards, right? Dispel?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that Ryan has Dispels in his deck, as well as he brought Negates out of the board. I don't know if Jason saw any last round, but
Right.
he could be looking to get into a fight
Alright.
over a counterspell.
So, okay, so Jason isn't going to bobble himself. He's going to... Alright.
Of note, I don't see a Dispel in his hand. Maybe the new Snapcaster art that you're seeing.
Alright, so he's going to leave them both on top, drawing a mystery card and then a Death Shadow.
I gotta imagine if both are on top, that mystery card's a land.
Alright, so it's important to note that he bobbled Ryan during his upkeep, during Ryan's upkeep, so that Jason will then draw 2 cards at the beginning of his turn.
Yeah, so it looks like it was Scalding Tarn, Death Shadow,
Alright.
which is exactly where he wants to be.
Yes, because Scalding Tarn's going to let him put himself to 14.
There's not a lot of removal options for this Merfolk deck, so if he can get himself down low enough, this Death Shadow could be very live.
He sees another land and a Gurmag Angler.
Gurmag Angler could be huge.
Be a very important card. I mean,
Is
It-
Merfolk keeping in their dismembers?
definitely keeps the clock on, and it can eat one of the removal spells from Ryan's Merfolk deck, but still, it's 4 damage.
Yeah, 4 damage is big game. The only removal spells we've seen this entire match are Dismembers. And he got beaten down by a Gurmag Angler in a Tasker game 1, so I gotta assume they're still in.
Right. Interesting. So you would think that the decision is pretty binary here as to whether or not he wants to fetch this turn.
Yeah, so he puts the Gurmag Angler 2 down,
And is gonna pass.
which signifies to me that he is going to fetch and end of turn Thought Scour. Or perhaps, did I see a Fatal Push in his hand?
Maybe. Right, so Jason was predicting a
Spreading Seas?
spreading seas there as he pushed the land towards
Spread 'em.
Rigby. So I think Jason has an additional Gurmag Angler in his hand. So he might just be filling the board here. 2 fetch lands puts the graveyard at 6, letting him cast Gurmag Angler and putting Jason to 11
Okay.
with a. And that puts a 2/2 Death Shadow into play.
And then he has another Gurmag Angler off the top to follow up. Gets rid of 2 Curse Catchers because he knew what he was drawing and didn't want to get rid of the Angler. Goes down to 11, getting 2 shocks here.
Yep. And he's just gonna fill up this board. It's gonna be a full house here.
Looks like he's just going to cast the Gurmag Angler this turn.
Leaving back. Oh, okay, yeah, because we have. Well, he's got to think about it. So he hasn't shuffled his deck. You'll notice. He wants to get another Watering Grave. Yes. Yeah. So this puts him at the ability to play both these creatures. And this is a slow start for Rigby.
Yeah, no 1-drop at all. I mean, we are just going into his turn 3. Jason's not in any danger of just dying outright, but he does have to start watching out for that life total because this Merfolk deck with any Island Walker could just immediately turn up the heat.
Yeah. 8.
So the 2/2 Death Shadow.
Yeah, I don't know if this is my perception or the reality of what's actually going on. It feels like Jason does a lot. It feels like there's a lot of things going on very, very quickly in his deck.
This is reality, first off. Secondly, Jason shuffles his hand around a lot and thinks about things a lot.
Okay.
So, I mean, in that regard, yes, there's a lot of things going on, but they're not all, like, gameplay things.
Okay. All I know now is that Jason has a ton of blue mana. And,
perfect for that mind over matter that's going to come down in a few turns.
Yeah, so we saw last turn he was a little pinched on red there. He had to get a Watery Grave and a Blood Crypt, where I think what he really wanted was 2 Blood Crypts.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an option for him. Just the way his deck is built.
Right, yeah, I don't know the exact mana base.
So I was playing Modern this Friday.
Yeah, me too.
And
we'll talk about that, though.
We won't talk about that one. I was playing against a Grixis Shadow deck, and they played turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 into some other discard spell, turn 3 into 3 Grixis Shadows, or 3 Death Shadows.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Oh, I think I over-the-shouldered this game.
Yeah, they were all 3/3s.
Yeah.
Did not draw the Maelstrom Pulse in the deck to come out ahead of that one. The 4th one did end up getting onto the board.
So Gurmag Angler went down here somehow. I'm not sure what the story was there. Oh, did it get Vapor Snagged?
I don't see a Vapor Snag in...
Oh, it got
Harbinger of the Tides.
Harbinger of the Tides bounces that. But Jason can recast it here fairly easily. 2 mana and the 5 cards in his graveyard, but it leaves him with...
Bad news is he doesn't have... Well, he does have the answer now for the Lord of Atlantis in the Fatal Push. He doesn't have a way to lose a life,
right,
to make these attacks good.
Yeah, sometimes you want to be a loser in this deck, and in this situation, Jason is no loser. I would recast this Gurmag Angler for sure, leaving up my Fatal Push / Dispel that I think he has.
I still don't think he has a Dispel. But it's anybody's guess. Remove the entirety of the yard.
Alright, here we go.
There's really... I mean, I guess you could attack with the Death Shadow and try to get good blocks and then blow him out with the Fatal Push on the Lord Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
But then if he just takes it all, well, if he takes it all, you're in good shape still too.
Yeah.
So I could see an attack here being good if you're willing to trade off your Death Shadows for the Harbinger of the Tides and the Silver Gull Adept.
I don't know that he is. I think what he's considering is, like, how do I maximize this Fatal Push? He needs it to connect both times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because he needs to take down Lords every time. Alright, respond with the push here. I have to. You gotta get this Lord out.
That represents 2 fewer elementals. But this Master of the Waves is a huge card in this matchup. Oh, man. Vapor saying his own guy. Good enough fortune.
Good. Yeah, that's fine. So we have 3 elementals.
So if... Yeah, so 5 elementals here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed the Spreading Seas. But if Jason is to draw a fetch land, he can turn on the Revolt on the Fatal Push flashback, and there it is. This fetch land is a
fetchy.
This fetch land is a big deal. He's checking his graveyard to make sure he still has something to get.
Well, he just checked his exile pile.
Well,
to see what lands he could get with.
Usually, when playing these Grixis decks, your graveyard becomes your exile pretty quick.
Yeah. Graveyard is just Fatal Push. That's the only option for the Snapcaster.
I love how the Sultai ability became the Grixis deck in Modern. The Delve.
Oh, Delve?
The Delve ability is a Sultai ability.
Yeah, I mean, are there even any green cards with Delve on them?
Yeah, there's this one called...
Yeah, the Hooting Mandrills.
And this little card called Become Immense.
Sure.
Was a fairly important card. And
so when you have like 5 5s and 4 5s, I don't think you need them to be 11 11s and 10 11s.
No, but it was a fairly important card in this little Infect deck that was around Modern for a little bit.
Was that like a tier 3 deck or something like that?
Oh, Infect?
Yeah.
No, it was very tier 1.
Oh, really?
For a time period.
Interesting.
So Jason's at 10. The Death Shadows get bigger.
Slightly bigger.
Slightly bigger. He doesn't... See, he's got to... This is the balancing act of this deck. He's got to have...
So I don't know if he can
a low enough life total that
here.
the Death Shadows are important, but a high enough life total that that he can't just be attacked back. Alright, so you're going to snap, push... Yeah, here we come. Oh,
so
man, this feels so good.
The Master. And then you get a swing in with all your guys.
Yeah, now you get to attack, and
you're taking 6, 7, 8, 9 on the swing back, so you're just dead to a Vapor Snag.
He's cast 2 Vapor Snags already.
Oh, I agree.
And you get a block with the...
You do not get a block.
No, how did... Oh, because he has the Master in hand, or the...
He is the Lord of Atlantis in hand. Also, you could just Vapor Snag a blocker if it came down to that, but...
Sure, and then it's game. 6-11 puts him at 3. I think this is just the way Jason has to play this, too. I don't think there's a lot of other options.
Yeah, Ryan's thinking about blocking here. I don't think you can win if you start blocking, because you're not going to trade profitably with any of these creatures. So you're out as a Vapor Snag or a second Lord?
Yeah, land, second Lord.
Yeah, he's got his other cards a land, so either one of those. And, I mean, that's pretty high percentage. And that'll do it. There you go. Yeah, so
that's difficult.
High percentage that he would have those, but there was nothing Jason could do about it.
Yeah, I just don't think his his mana got tied up there, and it just didn't. Nothing. It wasn't as the game didn't roll smoothly after that point. The mana was tied up.